Stop scrolling for just a second. I'm Marcus, and in this explainer, we are breaking down the exact, no-nonsense method to build that head-turning V-taper back. You're going to want to stick around for this one.
Hey everyone, Aria here. Marcus hit the nail on the head. The lat pull-down is, hands down, one of the single best exercises you can possibly do on a one-pulley machine. But here's the catch. You actually have to do it right. When you nail the execution, this one movement delivers an absolutely tremendous workout for your whole upper body. So today, we're taking you from absolute beginner basics all the way to advanced execution. If you've ever found yourself struggling to actually feel your lats firing, well, wait for it because we're about to completely lock in your form. Let's talk setup.
All right, so let's get into the foundation. Step one is literally make or break. Adjust your seat. You need that pad snug right against your thighs so you are totally locked in. If you're floating around off the bench, you're bleeding all your pulling power. Next up, step two, just slide back a tiny bit so you've got a mild, very intentional backward angle. And finally, step three, grab the bar. Doing these three things in this exact order anchors your lower body. That means your back is forced to do all the heavy lifting. And you know, getting that strict setup right isn't just for show. It's totally mandatory if you want that highly sought-after V-taper shape. Look what we're talking about here. A wide, reshaped upper back that tapers down perfectly to your waist. It's like a superhero physique, right? But you cannot fake this aesthetic. You've got to lock those legs in and get that angle right from step one if you want to see those structural results in your upper body.
Now let's talk about where to put your hands. For beginners just learning the ropes, you've got to stick with the standard, basic grip on the bar. It's the perfect starting point. Seriously, do not overcomplicate things on day one. You want to keep it consistent. This locks in your raw mechanics and really builds that mind-muscle connection. You have to feel the tension before you start experimenting with different hand placements, you know?
Exactly, Marcus. But hey, you aren't stuck with that basic grip forever. Check out this progression. Beginners absolutely have to start with that standard baseline to master the form. But once you graduate to those later stages of training, when your mechanics are flawlessly locked in, you can absolutely mix it up. Go wider, go narrower, whatever you need. But building that firm foundation first, absolutely crucial.
Okay, so here's a mental cue that is an absolute game changer for the pull itself. As you bring the bar down, tell yourself, squeeze these two bones together. We're talking about your shoulder blades here. Imagine you're literally trying to crush an apple right between them as the bar gets close to your chest. That bringing down motion, paired with a nice tight squeeze, is where the magic happens for muscle growth. Plain and simple. If you aren't squeezing, you aren't growing.
Which leads us right into the anatomy of the perfect rep. It's a beautiful four-step process. First, bring the bar down with total control. Second, hit that nice tight squeeze at the bottom. Crush that imaginary apple. Third, just pause briefly. A split second is all you need to max out the tension in your lats. And fourth, release it all the way back up. No rushing here. Just pure, deliberate movement from start to finish.
And all that way up, you want to pull your back out as much as you possibly can. You are actively trying to stretch those lats at the very top of the movement. If you need to make micro adjustments in your seat to maximize that stretch before the next rep, do it. Stretching the muscle under load is a massive key to development. It's all about owning the entire range of motion, rather than cutting your reps short.
But all right, let's get real for a second. This is where things usually go off the rails. There is a super tricky trap you will inevitably see people falling into at the gym, sooner or later. When fatigue sets in and form breaks down, they start doing this one thing that completely kills their progress. Any guesses on what it is?
It is the dreaded yank. Take a look at the left side here, that terrible habit of just yanking the weight backward. Now compare that to the right side, which is that nice, tight, controlled squeeze we've been talking about. The warning here is simple. Do not yank it back. We are going to do it the right way to protect our joints and actually train the muscles we showed up to work.
Just so we're crystal clear, yanking means throwing your body weight backward to move the bar instead of actually using muscle control. When you do this, you're just riding on momentum. It totally ruins the exercise. You're shifting the physical burden away from your back and dumping it onto secondary muscles and connective tissue. It turns an amazing back builder into a messy, ineffective, full-body heave. And anatomically speaking, the consequence of that yanking momentum is just incredibly frustrating for your progress. Look at these points. Instead of working your back, you end up hijacking the entire movement with your biceps and your shoulders. Sure, you might look like you're pulling heavy weight, but you are completely robbing your lats of the targeted stimulation they need to grow and give you that V-taper.
Which brings us to why this structured, controlled method contains absolutely zero BS. It's not a fitness fad, it's not some ego-lifting trick for social media, and it 0% relies on momentum. Doing it this way, with strict control, perfect posture, and pure intention on the muscle contraction, genuinely yields results. It's just hard, honest work done right.
So how do you guarantee those results? You start lightly. When you first sit down at the machine, just do a couple of reps with light weight to feel out the mechanics. Walk into the exercise mentally and physically. Check your angle, make sure your slide back is right, and firmly nail the proper form instead of just pinning the whole stack right out of the gate. Mastering it light is how you eventually master it heavy.
Because ultimately, our core goal here is beautifully simple. Make sure you actually grow your back. Doing it the right way, hyper-focusing on that squeeze, and absolutely refusing to use momentum is the only guaranteed path to getting there. Every single rep should target that area. And hey, if you aren't feeling it in your lats, drop the ego, lighten the load, and fix your form.
To wrap up our explainer today, mastering this single pulley machine technique is going to consistently give you a tremendous workout. Setting up at the proper angle, explicitly squeezing those shoulder blades together, getting that active stretch at the top, and avoiding the yanking trap, it completely transforms a basic gym movement into an absolute masterclass in back development.
So I'll leave you with this final question. Are you ready to build your wings? Take these core principles from today. Ditch the ego lifting, focus on that controlled squeeze, and try the perfect lat pull down next time you hit the gym. Thanks so much for joining us to unpack this, and we will see you next time.